Okay, welcome to our first lick for our 2-5-1 licks in minor mode now. I'm going to do all of these licks in the key of G minor. So our 2-5-1 progression is going to be A minor 7, flat 5, to D7, flat 9, flat 13, perhaps sharp 9 or something like that, to G minor 7. So remember, the 2 chord is minor 7, flat 5 in the minor mode. That's why we have A minor 7, flat 5. And the 5 chord, the D7 in this instance, is frequently going to have some alterations. Sharp 9, flat 13, something like that. So you'll see me play, these kinds of shapes for D7. And for G minor 7, I'll just play a shape like this for my 4-way closed position rootless voicing. One little note, I really am not going to use, for right now anyway, I'm not going to use any substituted notes for my A minor 7, flat 5. I'm going to pretty much play it just like this, which is, all chord tones, no substitutions, just inverted to have the 7th in the bass. So you'll most frequently see me playing this, and either this or this for D7, and then this for G minor 7. Again, I want you to go through and practice first with the shell voicings in the left hand so that you can hear that root movement in the bass. And after you've done that, I want you to practice your closed position rootless voicings in the left hand. And practicing these in all 12 keys just like we did when we practiced the 2-5-1 licks in major mode. So that's sort of the system we're going to use. Shell voicing in the left hand, then closed position voicings in the left hand, and then going through and bringing it through all the various keys. So let's take a look at our first 2-5-1 lick in G minor. Okay, let's try that again. Now let me play that again. I'm going to play it up the octave so I can get my rootless voicings in there. Okay, so let's just talk quickly about what's going on. A little bit more chromaticism going on in this example. If we think in terms of the diatonic approach, meaning what scale are we basing these chords off of? Well, we're really basing these chords off of this scale. But that's with a little bit of a caveat, a little bit of an exception to this rule. Okay, so I first just played G natural minor, which has the flatted 3rd, the flatted 6th, and the flatted 7th, right? Because here's G major. So I flatted the 3rd, the 6th, and the 7th. And we know that's G natural minor because it's related to B flat major. It's the relative major. However, I have this D7 chord in there, which has the F sharp. So if I add that note in, it's really more theoretically related to G harmonic minor. Okay, so if it's related to G harmonic minor, why do we resolve to G minor 7? Well, the answer is basically that G minor 7 is just part of a Dorian sound, right? So we can kind of get that F natural by thinking of it as sort of like G Dorian. But that's why you will hear a lot of players resolve their 2-5-1 progression to a 1 with the minor major 7 or with the minor 6. Okay? And that's why I said to you that you can, or that's what I'm going to say to you now, that you can start to think about your 1 chord as G minor 7 or also G minor 6 or G minor major 7. And you can start to experiment with those sounds and kind of get a sense of how they all sound a little bit different and they add a different color to the chord. But for this example, again, and all the examples to keep things uniform, I'm going to play G minor 7, just as a constant sort of frame of reference. So in this 2-5-1 example, this lick, for A minor 7 flat 5, I'm starting on the 3rd. So there's just a sequence going on there, right? Moves up by skip and then walks down and starts here. Moves up by skip and walks down. Now we're on the D7. So I'm encircling, once again, that sharp 11 that I'm going to. Half step above, half step below, target note, up to the C, and then pretty much just walking down. Here's the 3rd of D7, the 9, the flat 9, and I really want to go to this D to resolve on my G minor. But I'm going to get there by half step. So I'm going to walk into it from a half step below. Okay, so that's how the line is sort of working. So it's really based all in that key, all in sort of G natural minor out front. And even still, until we get to that sharp 11, starts to add some outside color. Now we said the C, well that makes sense, C is within the key. The F sharp is sort of within the key, depends on how we're thinking about it. If we're thinking about it as G harmonic minor, then we have our natural 7 there. And now we're just walking down to that D. That's really where we're going. I just want to get from this down to that D, and I'm getting there by get to that E, and then it's a half step above, half step below to my target. All right, so practice that lick. Shell voicings first, closed position second, and then moving it through different keys and always using your metronome.